Okay, I'm doing this video because as I've told people, graduated from the Honda Reflex to the Honda Goldwing. And I just wanted to go over why I love the Reflex so much and how I feel about the Goldwing since I got it. Just my purchasing experience with it. I also want people to know my first initial feelings on the bike, and I wanted that recorded before I forget it. So I've had it now for about 2 weeks, the Goldwing. So let's go over the Reflex first and discuss it. So with the Honda Reflex here, one of the things I've enjoyed about it is, and I tell everybody this, it gets 70 miles a gallon and it'll do 70 miles an hour. It'll go all the way up to 85. At 85, it's at the max on the tach. It doesn't shut off, but I don't want to take her past the red line. It's been a great little scooter. She gets along good. She is not a crotch rocket. She does not take off like a bat out of hell, but she does get up and move, and she will ride good. It's got a comfortable ride. You tuck in well if it's raining behind it. And a light drizzle, you don't really get any rain on you between the taller windshield that's on it, which that's an aftermarket somebody else put on. I bought both of these units used. So it's got a taller windshield than the standard one. So I didn't get much rain on me on a light drizzle. Now on a heavy downpour, yep, I got wet. It still wasn't as wet as an open bike, which I've had before. But I just love to ride, and I loved riding this bike. The real turning point for me and my wife was we took it to North Carolina, Franklin, North Carolina. If you get a chance to go there and ride, there's some great riding in the mountains there to go on some hiking trails and see some waterfalls. Wonderful, wonderful place to go visit. So we took the camper there, and we had this on the back of the camper. So it fits on the back of the camper on a motorcycle rack. Just a small standard one. So we put it on there, took it. Well, the little bike struggled carrying me and my wife up some of those hills. Did she make it? Yeah. Was she giving it everything she had? She sure was. The real turning part, though, was when we came down those hills. And with this having no engine braking on it, coming down some of them long mountain hills for a long time with her and I on it, I had brake fade where the brakes went out. Luckily for me, I would just let off, coast. I'd been riding long enough on the bike. I was comfortable with leaning it into turns pretty heavy. But it has been a great little bike. It has done wonderful for me. And with that brake fade, I told my wife, I said, we may have to look at doing something different. The other part is it was straining it so much. I know that this bike tends to go through, I say bike, scooter, goes through belts. About every 5,000 miles, you'll have to put on a new belt on it. That's with me driving it. I'm at what they consider the limit of the bike's weight. So obviously putting myself and my wife on it, it was overweight. But anyhow, that's where I was riding it. Oil changes are simple on it. Just a good overall bike. I put around 18,000 miles on that bike. And I used it a lot for going to and from work because it saved gas, and I just love to ride, and this gave me the ability to do that and save gas. The gas savings I got in this in the first year alone paid for the bike. I think I paid like $3,500 for the bike used. It's got a nice little compartment under the seat. Nope, it's not big enough to put a helmet in, not any helmet that I've ever had, but it's big enough to put some groceries in, some lunch in, just little odds and ends. I can fit a backpack in there. Yes, I mean, when you get used to it, the scooter, because she does 70 miles an hour, you can lay her over. I have scraped the sides on this bike multiple times when I got used to riding it. And so, yeah, she's a good little bike. I'll take you in for a little more view here. So, yep, she's been scratched up a little and dinged up a little bit, but overall, it's been a good bike. We've traveled with it before and enjoyed it. Tying it down was one thing that I had a struggle with. You can see there's some marks in the center there. That's where I would put a strap across the center to tie it down. It had no music or cell phone abilities. One of the problems it does have is because of these covers here, you can't get anything that grips on there real good. So I used to just throw my cell phone in there. When we were in Franklin, Tennessee, I found these grips at Walmart. It was like a claw that would clamp down. And if I positioned it just right on here, I could get it to clamp and hold the cell phone. And that worked because we needed directions while we were there sometimes. I did end up changing out brakes once while I had this. It does have more than the 18,000 miles I put on it. She's got 28,856,000 miles, and she runs perfect. It is carbureted, it's not fuel injected. But if you're looking for a scooter and want a good scooter, these Honda Reflexes, I've seen them with way more miles than that. They run good. They're great little bikes. It does have a little compartment down here. I did see one guy. This is one thing I never had and wish I had was a place to put some of my stuff better. But I can fit. I usually put my hat in over there, and then you can see just a rag or something on that side, because I wear a hat most of the time. It didn't have a cigarette port in there, but I'm sure you could add one, or you could add a charger port in there. I just never got to it. I'm not on the bike that long. I did see one guy, he put a stereo system in here and had the speakers coming through here. That was pretty nifty. But that was one thing that I did miss on this bike, was not being able to listen to radio or something like that every now and then, because I'm a person that likes music. But she does go through tires. I get a set of tires usually about once a year on it. But to me, I think I spent $170 last time. It's not a big deal for me to spend the $170 get new tires on it. It's going to depend mainly on how you drive it and how often you drive it. I drive mine a lot, and I get the Michelin City Grippers every time. I tried one other brand of tires, and I did not like them. They did not allow the bike to be planted as it is with the City Grippers. The City Grippers held better in corners, and I just had the confidence in them. I never had a problem with the City Grippers breaking loose in the rain or anything like that. So, but they're great little bikes, and I enjoyed it very much. After the trip, we decided, well, I'd been looking at bikes before that, Honda Goldwings before that, and that's when we went looking at motorcycles, and we went to look at the Goldwing specifically. The reason we were looking at that Goldwing, like I said earlier, was the fact that the brakes had gone out with the tubes on it, and my wife said she liked riding, but she wanted a bigger seat. At one point, we'd gone to a Honda dealership. She sat in the back of a Goldwing and said, "This is what I want." And we looked at price tags, and they were through the roof. So I started looking on Facebook for Goldwings, and I went and I tried another Goldwing, not this one. I went and tried another one, and what I found on that was, on the other Goldwing that I tried, it was a 1990s model. It was a beautiful Goldwing, had been very well kept by someone else. Had a matching trailer to go with it. But what I found was, when I got on the bike, is that I felt very cramped. I'm 6'2", so I got on that bike and I felt very cramped, and I thought, man, I don't know if I can ride this bike like this for long periods or long times. I don't know that I'll enjoy it. And I thought, man, that's strange, because I know I've seen other tall people ride it. So I told the gentleman I wanted to go and take a look and look stuff up. Well, I found out that that's a normal problem. Apparently the bikes are built for people that are like 5'10". Anything over that, the bike feels really cramped. And part of the problem, so there was two problems that makes it feel cramped, that made it feel cramped for me. One was the fact that on the other Goldwing, on this Goldwing, it has pegs down there. So it has standard pegs. The other Goldwing had floorboards, and supposedly the floorboards always make it rise up, and so that brings your legs up even higher. Not much, but just like a half inch or so. The other thing is, the gentleman I bought this one from when I went to test ride it, he was 6'2", and I'd already had the seat customized for him. So that seat actually sits an inch and a half taller and an inch and a half back. And that made all the world in the difference in how I felt. Now, one of the things we worried about then was, have I taken away from my wife's area? And the answer was no. She was still comfortable. There wasn't too much squeezing on her, or I wasn't sitting in her lap the whole time. So we liked it. I considered both bikes. I looked at the other bike. The seat alone on this bike and for the other one is $1,000 or more to have the customized seats done. So when I looked at the other one, I knew it needed tires, it needed customized seat so I could get comfortable on it, possibly new pegs. But what I noticed when I was looking at that older model is that it was hard to find parts for. They were already very hard to find parts for. And that's because it's a 20-year-old bike. There's still a lot of them out there, but they're getting harder to find parts for. And there's not as many aftermarket companies making the parts for them anymore. So that was a downside. We ended up buying this one that was slightly more than the other one. And the big selling point for me was that I was comfortable on it. So it was ready to go like it is. So I took it for a test drive there at the gentleman's house. And it was very nice. It had the Goldwing whine when it would start up and take off. That's normal. So if you go to test drive one, that's normal. They got a slight whine to them. That's nothing to worry about. I've owned Hondas before and I've been around Goldwings, so I was pretty sure it was okay. But after talking to other people, yep, it's normal. And mine doesn't make any funny sounding whines when it runs. It's just a normal little whine. So I took it for the test drive. Well, when I took it for the test drive, first thing I noticed was that I was in overdrive really quick. I thought, man, that's crazy. I'm only doing like 50 miles an hour and I'm already in the highest gear it goes in. So that was a little weird to me, but not a big deal. And then when I turned it around, it was very hard to turn. And part of it is, it's just a bigger bike and I wasn't used to, it's been a long time since I rode a big bike. I've never owned a Goldwing, so I've never drove in a Goldwing, and it was even bigger. The other thing is this has a car tire in the back. It is a dark side setup. And I noticed also that when I left one of the turns that I pulled out on and I got on the gas, the back end gave a weird squat squiggle. Wiggle, squiggle, squat, wiggle as it came out. So I knew it would take a little while. So at first I was just a little cautious with it. So when we went to purchase it, I told my wife, you'll have to come drop me off and then I'll ride it home. And I told her it'll be probably a week or two before I'm comfortable riding with it because of getting used to the tire. I took it from there. I drove home. I think it's 30 miles to my house from where we were at. By the time I got home, I already felt comfortable on it. I told my wife, I said, let's go for a ride. She jumped on, we took it out and took it for a ride. At that point, we went and jumped on the highway real quick. And one thing I noticed is when you got up to about 65, 70 miles an hour on the highway, unbelievable, the bike almost felt like it rode smoother. The RPMs were up around 3,500 and we were just rolling on it and it was nice. We then came back through the back roads and I felt really good and confident riding it. No problem. So then I took the week off of riding it because it was supposed to rain every day. It didn't. I was very upset because I did want to ride it very much. And the weekend came and we took it for a ride again. On that ride, we went up to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge in Tennessee. And one of the things we did up there is just to ride up and back and around some, and truly enjoyed it. Really got a feel for it, and now I just love the way it rides. I will say that I still feel like it could use one more gear. I feel like it was geared down too low, especially through first through fourth. When I read the owner's manual, it said you're supposed to shift into overdrive, which would be fifth gear, when you hit 35 miles an hour. That seems like some really fast short shifting for the first 4 gears for sure for me. But I do enjoy it. It has been nice. I do know that my navigation system is outdated and it can't be updated anymore. That's one of the downsides to these bikes now. So and there's no aftermarket system put on it. I've been looking at it and I haven't decided what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to use cell phone or some GPS system with Apple CarPlay. I haven't decided yet. One of the things I do enjoy about it is that take you guys off the stand here, the armrest my wife likes. It's got the little cup holders in it. We may switch this out. She said that her stuff rattles around in there when she used it this weekend just a little bit. The trunk is beautiful. One of the things I had to get used to is putting these out when you open the trunk, but as you can see, we got two helmets in here. I'm not going to say they're two full-size helmets because this one's full face, full helmet, and this one here is a full glass front, but it's not a full face. He also added, there's two little blockers he's got on the side here. Plexiglass. I don't know if they're standard or not, but they're in there. I think if I took them out, I could get two full face. Everybody says they squeeze in here and they're tight. They're right. It is a squeeze to get in there, but they do fit. But it's a nice size little trunk. Everything fits good. If you close the trunk and it doesn't close all the way, one of the neat features is the dashboard, when you turn it on, will tell you which trunk is open. It'll tell you if it's the center trunk or the right or left. That one's pretty nifty. Underneath here is where the buttons are to open up the side compartments. And along with this came a cover, but they're nice little cubbies. They go back in there in that direction. Right now I just got the full-size storage cover I keep in there and I put on the bike when I'm at work. And then on this side here, I just throw my jacket in when I get there, and it's got a nice little compartment, tools in it and everything. It just makes it easier to store the stuff when I'm there. It has taken a little getting used to all the buttons that it has on it. It definitely has a bunch. Some I've not even used yet, like the CB stuff I've not used. The volume, the mute works. I like that because I can have the radio up, and then when I come into the parking lot or something like that, I can hit mute. The navigation I turned on, but I haven't used yet for an actual trip, and it shows the route so far pretty good. One thing I did learn, and this was pretty interesting, is that you have up and down on the leveling of the suspension here, which is really nifty, and you have the adjustable lights. Well, it has Memo 1 and Memo 2, and so I set mine. Memo 1 is for me riding alone. Memo 2 is for when I'm riding with my wife. And then this button here is for the lower fog lights. Mine's been sticking. I've seen some YouTube videos on taking those apart and cleaning it, so I'm gonna have to watch them a little bit more and probably take that one out and clean it. That's the only one that sticks so far. Over here controls the map and menu. It's definitely meant to only be used while you're stopped. They have it set up so it doesn't even really work on the screen at all unless you're in neutral. Display function goes through the different displays. It's got heated seats, heated grips. Now with the custom seat that he put on here, I do not have, it's not heated, but he gave me the original seat so I can add it or switch it out if we decide we're going cold riding and want warm butts. Down over here is, the first one is the vent covers. This opens and closes the vents on the bottom to let exhaust come in on you. Let me see if it goes across the manifolds and pours out, and when it's cold out you can feel that little bit of warmth coming in. Somebody had told me you got to find just the right spot for your feet when they're on there, and they were right. Yeah, if you get your foot in just the right spot, that heat hits it. If you have your foot in the wrong spot, it seems to miss it. There's a lever on this side and one on the other side that's identical. You flip those up and then you can move the windshield up and down. This is an aftermarket and it's a taller one. I do like it. One of the things I liked about this was this vent that opens up on hot days, so I can let the air through on me. That is very nice. The old scooter didn't have that, and on hot days I didn't get as much air on me as I'd like. The other thing it has is these dampeners here that you can adjust to block the wind or pull the wind in, and I do like those as well. I've noticed it. It has these pieces too. This one's loose. I have to readjust it. There's just a little bolt on the bottom to tighten it up. so that it will be snugger, because right now I'm going down the road, and if I have it open, it'll either close or open up all the way. And when it opens up all the way, it actually almost closes again. So work on that. So my initial thoughts are, I've enjoyed it. It's been a good bike so far. I've not had no problems. Well, if I'm being honest, today on the way home, at one point the FI light flashed on real quick and the bike dove down a little bit, and I thought, whoa, what is that? It didn't do it again after that. Could be some old bad fuel in there, because I think the bike's been sitting for about 1.5 years since the gentleman who sold it to me had rode it. He said he had put some fresh gas in it recently, but I don't know that there wasn't still some old stuff in there that we're working through. Miles per gallon on our last trip was 36. I don't know if that'll get better or not. And as far as the it did come with a trailer hitch, and as far as the dark side tire goes, in no time at all I've gotten used to riding on it and the feel for it. I've already drugged the pegs on this a couple times, which shouldn't be surprising because I think it touches down a little bit earlier than the scooter does. And since I felt comfortable leaning the scooter over, this one is even nicer to lean over because of the fact that it has the horsepower to pull itself back up. On a scooter, it does not have the power. So you have to have the momentum and the G-forces to carry it all the way through the turn. That tire says it's a 195 55 R16 that's on there. The gentleman also gave me a whole nother rim to go with it and a regular tire. So at some point I'll switch them back over and try that. The reviews that I've seen about the tires is it sounds like I might enjoy the regular tire more when I'm going to be going in the mountains and a lot of curvy stuff. And I'll enjoy this one a lot more if I'm doing more open road, freeway type driving, more straight line. But I've not noticed it do anything funky at all since I've had it. Besides, it gives a little squeamish if you get on it really hard coming from out of a stop turn and going. Out of a regular turn, it does not seem to have any issues at all. So I just figured I would share my thoughts in a quick video. I know it's been like 20 minutes or something, so it's a little longer, but this is just my initial feelings on the bike, and I look forward to sharing more information and videos on it as I go. Thanks for watching.